You wake up when the alarm goes off, you go to your job, and you're like, how did Tate get all that money? That guy has $100 million.
Andrew Tate is a 35-year-old who claims to have made millions of dollars in his career and promotes himself as someone who could teach you to do the same. But I want to take a deeper dive into these claims, see if his story has any holes, or if he really is a hyper-successful young man he makes himself out to be online. Although Andrew has been popping off all over social media at a lethal rate for self-improvement and financial advice, he actually has been in the social media game for a cool minute.
Have a look at that beautiful white Porsche out there. That's mine as well.
But to get a better grasp and understanding of who he really is, we have to take a trip back in time. Back to where Andrew's story began. Andrew was born into a family of 3 children. He himself, his younger brother Tristan, and his sister Janine, making him the oldest child. Andrew's father, Andrew Tate, was a highly intelligent man who was a chess grandmaster. From a very young age, Andrew was taught how to play chess by his father, leading to Andrew becoming a state champion in Indiana at only 5 years old. And to this day, Andrew is thankful for chess and uses the principles of the game in real life.
Yeah, so chess, I mean, obviously my father was a chess master, right? So I had to learn the game. He sat me down. I spent a lot of time learning it. And to this day, I have massive respect for chess.
Due to the bad financial situation in the family, Emery's wife took the children and moved to a poor town in England called Luton. At this point, Andrew was completely separated from his father, and with the small chess scene in the UK, Andrew decided to stop competing in chess and move on to something else. Due to his American accent, Andrew was constantly bullied in the school. Things reached a breaking point when Andrew's younger brother Tristan had been involved in a fight with a school bully. Their mom decided to enroll them in a self-defense class. And this is where Andrew's interest in combat sports began.
To increase your punching power, there's a difference between an amateur and a professional. A bullet is so deadly, not because of the amount of pressure it has, but because it's such a small surface. If you reduce the surface area, you increase the pressure. So what most people do when they throw a punch, they don't think about how their hand lands.
But there was a problem. Andrew Tate was a kickboxer, and even if you are a world champion, you are not going to be making a lot of money in this sport.
I became 4-time world champion, and one day I woke up, and I literally just woke up. I looked at my bank, I had like 3 grand, 4 grand in there, and I'm like, I'm giving up my entire life, and I don't even know how I'm gonna live. I need to get rich. I want to get rich.
Andrew had to accept that kickboxing is not going to get him where he wanted, so he had to come up with an idea that'll make him rich. Andrew literally sat down in his room for days, tinkering and analyzing different options.
Anyway, I had a piece of paper there, and I'm in my research phase, and it start writing down some dude on YouTube. I don't know who he was, some dork. He was a pro gold guy saying buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. He was saying the difference between an asset, a liability, etc., etc. So I started trying to write down what I had. I was like, I have an apartment, I have a BMW. I'm in good shape.
Realizing how money actually worked made Andrew even angrier at the world. But then he remembered this. During his kickboxing career, Andrew had 5 different girlfriends from different locations. And that is where Andrew and his brother came up with the idea of launching the webcam business.
I first made my millions of dollars. The first time I ever became a millionaire was with webcam studio.
So the first thing they had to do is to fly all the girlfriends over to London. He flew them over to his flat in London, sat them around the table, and presented them with an opportunity to work for him as cam girls. Right off the bat, 3 of the girls walked away, and he had 2 of the girls who stayed and accepted the offer. Both girls moved in with Andrew and the business started. The girls started working and the men started pouring in. While they successfully attracted men's attention, they were not saying the right things to keep the men around. They get on the cam show with an old man who asks, "So, what do you look for in a guy?" And they'd say, "Well, someone who's young and rich with a good body." But this is definitely not what those old men wanted to hear. And this is where Andrew came up with a genius plan.
So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in, and me and my brother would do all the talking. The girls were just famousers.
He would scam and lie to those men about the things like medical emergencies, dying parents, unpaid loans, you name it. Whatever it took to get them to pay those girls more. He lures them along for weeks and even months without the girls ever meeting them. At this stage, Andrew was making $3,000 to $4,000 every single day. So this is where Andrew decided to expand and bring in more girls. The criteria was simple. He needed beautiful girls who weren't business-minded like-minded enough to start their own venture, so they would be loyal to him and his business. He grew this business fairly quickly, and at one point he was operating over 70 girls. But very soon, Andrew realized that this was a big mistake.
75 women worked for me at the peak of it all. But that was a mistake, because when you have a bunch of girls working for you like that, the only way you can motivate them is with money. When I started, the girls worked for me because they loved me. But when you get too big, you can't have all these girls in love with you.
So the brothers decided to cut down to 8 girls in total, 4 with Andrew and 4 with Tristan. They moved into one house together and started working again. The lies they told just got bigger and bigger, but the men were desperate, so they kept coming back. According to Andrew, this is where the business reached its peak, with a turnover of over $600,000 per month. But there was a problem. The money was not enough for Andrew.
Although the king is slower than the queen, he's the most important piece, right? The king can't die. The queen can die. They thought I was this millionaire world champion. They all wanted to come London, live with me, and thought I was a big boy millionaire and all this stuff.
In 2018, Andrew decided to launch his YouTube channel called Tate Speech. It featured Andrew speaking on random topics. Although topics were not particularly interesting, Andrew's strong opinions and worldviews kept you watching. With all the money he made from his cam business, was it a little strange that he started a YouTube channel where he was making pennies in comparison? But his plan was bigger: build a large following and drive people to your website, where you would sell a bunch of different courses, ranging from fitness courses to pickup courses and even a course on body language. The strategy was simple, but also very well written. Target men who struggle with the key areas of their life: fitness, money, girls, and sell them solutions promising to fix their problems. But then came a war room. The war room is a members-only club that connects the like-minded individuals around the world. On his website, Tate describes it as a global organization with members, bases, and influence in over 70 countries. The War Room was Tate's first big move into creating a community around his brand. Membership to this club was initially priced at £447, but with a recent surge in popularity, he raised the price to £4,147 British pounds, with a promise that by joining this membership, you are going to get access to an extremely powerful network that'll help you become free from the control of the government and make you extremely rich, with hundreds or possibly thousands of members in the club all being charged over £40,000 for entry. Tate slightly ranked in millions from the War Room alone. But
what color's your brigade?
But Andrew's next move was the most lucrative one so far: the launch of Hustlers University. Hustlers University is a program designed to teach students about modern wealth creation methods. The first iteration of the program contained 10 hours of video and course material for the hefty price of £1,099, but the description on his website focused very little on what actual value it provided, instead talking about how successful Andrew is and why you should listen to him. In 2021, he released the updated version of the course, Hustlers University 2.0. The new course contains 18 money-making methods, covering e-commerce, cryptocurrency, stocks, and more. He substituted the fixed fee for a subscription model costing $50 a month and incorporated an affiliate marketing scheme into the program. And this is where things get more interesting.
Him allegedly admitting that one of his businesses was, quote, a total scam.
Now, there's mixed opinions about this course, which is why I want to know if it's a scam or not. So I bought it.
In 2021, Andrew made his first appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast. The video has ranked up over 1 million views, and many of the most upvoted comments are quite complimentary of Tate. He went on to appear on Your Mom's House podcast with even more success, pulling in close to 3 million views to date. One thing was clear: whether people loved him or hated him, they were entertained. Soon, clips of Tate started popping up all over TikTok and YouTube Shorts, but what was strange was the sheer volume of clips being posted. There were seemingly hundreds of accounts repackaging his videos and posting them like clockwork, and this is where Tate's plan really came into effect.
I put together a particular strategy about 6 months ago because I decided to step up my overall exposure because of a new product I launched. I changed my approach towards social media, and I ended up absolutely everywhere.
As a part of the affiliate program at Hustlers University, Tate guarantees is a 10 split of revenue for any new signups a person brings in. Not bad if you can get lots of people to sign up and they stick around. So people began making pages dedicated to his content. Hundreds of pages consistently pumping out clips of Tate, accumulating millions of views. Then the same people repost his content to make YouTube videos talking about how Hustlers University really works, driving even more people over to the course. At this point, there were over 100,000 students subscribed to the course, all paying Andrew $50 a month. That's $5 million per month just from this one program alone. So really, it's no wonder why he's flying on private jets and driving around in a car that costs more than a house.
When you start seeing a car the price of a house, and then you start seeing people with 30 of them, that's got to wake you up.
Whether you agree with Tate's views or not, there is one thing that can't be disputed. He excels at what he does. He left his kickboxing career behind to pursue fame and riches, and with his cam business, online courses, and social media activity, he got everything he wanted in life. Hopefully, you learned something valuable from Andrew's story. Thank you for watching.